Elon Musk checked his Rolex with an exasperated sigh. 11:47 p.m. His Gulfstream G650 had blown a hydraulic line during approach to Van Nuys Airport, leaving him stranded in the Los Angeles suburbs. Rain streaked across the terminal windows as his assistant, Tyler, scrolled through rideshare apps on a sleek tablet. The soft glow of the screen illuminated the tension on Tyler's face as he delivered the bad news. "Black SUV service is 90 minutes out," Tyler said, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses with a mixture of irritation and concern. "But there's an UberX available now." "Just get the damn car," Elon growled, his voice laced with urgency. Outside, lightning forked over the San Gabriel Mountains like nature's own warning sign. He needed to be at SpaceX's Hawthorne facility by 7 a.m. for the Starship engine test, a test whose success could make or break the next phase of interplanetary ambitions. Every delayed hour was estimated to cost him $2.3 million in lost productivity. Moments later, a white Honda Accord pulled up precisely at midnight. The vehicle's windshield wipers worked in a steady, rhythmic motion, their repetitive swish blending with the patter of rain on the asphalt. Elon slid into the back seat, his eyes scanning the interior. Almost immediately, three unusual details caught his attention: the faint but distinct smell of machine oil, a well-worn mission patch from the 1995 STS-74 shuttle mission dangling from the rearview mirror, and, most intriguingly, a set of complex fluid dynamics equations scrawled on a weathered legal pad. "Intercontinental Hotel downtown?" asked the driver, his tone calm yet inquisitive. The man, a black gentleman in his late 60s with close-cropped gray hair, wore a set of NASA logo suspenders peeking out from beneath his dark jacket. His face bore the lines of experience and hardship, hinting at stories long buried under decades of labor. "Correct," Elon replied, his eyes never leaving the equations. They weren't mere theoretical musings scribbled by an idle mind. These were practical modifications to Raptor engine injector ports, calculations that promised an 18% boost in fuel efficiency. Solutions like these had eluded SpaceX's engineers for months, leaving Elon both impressed and intrigued. The driver caught Elon's unwavering gaze in the rearview mirror and, with a practiced flick of his wrist, flipped the notebook closed. "Apologies, Mr. Musk. Old habits die hard." Elon's tone sharpened as he leaned forward. "Those aren't Hall-effect thruster calculations. You're optimizing combustion instability in full-flow staged combustion engines." His words, laced with technical precision, made it clear he wasn't about to let this opportunity slip by. The driver's hands tightened on the wheel. "I drove for JPL engineers back in the day. Pick up things, ideas, designs. You name it." His voice was low, hinting at memories of a past where brilliance met bureaucracy. At that moment, Elon's internal BS detector went off. No Uber driver casually worked through Navier-Stokes equations for mere entertainment. "Changing tactics," he pressed. "UX military? Northrop? Boeing? Lockheed?" 28 years, the driver replied curtly as he merged onto I-405 South. The downtown skyline glowed in the distance, a mosaic of neon and concrete that reminded Elon of the city's ceaseless energy. "I was part of Skunk Works. Retired when the arthritis got bad." He tapped his right knee with a resigned sigh. "Pension doesn't stretch like it used to, not with San Fernando Valley rent these days." In that moment, all the pieces clicked into place: an aging aerospace engineer with a storied past, battling medical issues and surviving in the gig economy, a brilliant mind discarded by corporate America after decades of service. Elon had met dozens of such lost talents at industry conferences, individuals whose contributions had been undervalued and whose expertise was now desperately needed. "What's your name?" Elon asked, his tone softer now but still edged with determination. "Samuel." "Sam Thompson," came the measured reply, tinged with defensiveness. "And before you ask, no, I don't want a job. I tried consulting once. Young MBAs keep telling me my lifetime's work is legacy code." At that moment, Elon's phone buzzed with a Twitter notification about Dogecoin, but he paid it no heed. "Those equations, Sam. They solve my Raptor oscillation problem," he declared, tapping the notebook with renewed intensity. The car swerved slightly as if echoing the sudden pivot in their conversation. "Impossible. You'd need—" Sam began, then paused, as if reconsidering how much to reveal in a mere rideshare. "You'd need to adjust the pre-burner turbopump alignment while compensating for tangential detonation waves," Elon finished, his voice laden with certainty. "Exactly what you've sketched here." His finger hovered over the legal pad. "Where's the rest?" Sam's voice hardened. "You think I'd carry proprietary designs in an Uber? Those notes stay locked up. There was a clear edge of caution, an unspoken history of corporate battles and bruised egos. Locked up with who? Lockheed's lawyers? Elon countered, a wry smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. They own anything you made there. But this. He pointed at the notebook, his gaze never faltering. This is new. Your work. Your intellectual property. As the Accord exited onto Sunset Boulevard, neon signs danced in the puddles on the wet asphalt. For a long moment, Sam said nothing until he finally pulled the car under the porte-cochere of the Intercontinental Hotel. "Good night, Mr. Musk," he said, his tone clipped as he prepared to vanish from the encounter. Before disappearing into the lobby, Elon retrieved a crisp $500 bill from his money clip and pressed it into Sam's hand. "Take tomorrow off. My team will call at 9 a.m., he instructed firmly. Then, slipping a sleek business card into Sam's shirt pocket, he added, "Bring those designs. We'll draft an NDA that protects you, not SpaceX." Standing in the hotel's revolving doors, Elon watched Sam for a lingering moment. In that brief silence, Sam's granddaughter's voice echoed faintly in his memory, "Pops, why do you still mess with rocket stuff? Nobody cares." It was a reminder of dreams deferred, of passions suppressed by the relentless march of corporate and financial pressures. Across town, as the drizzle persisted and neon lights blurred into streaks of color, Elon's security team initiated background checks. Within minutes, Sam's Lockheed file began to reveal startling details. He had been the lead engineer on the SR-72 Dark Star hypersonic prototype, a project cloaked in secrecy and ambition. He boasted 14 patents in reusable launch systems, a legacy of innovation, and he had been forced into early retirement after whistleblowing about safety shortcuts that endangered lives. At 2:17 a.m., still riding the adrenaline of the encounter, Elon initiated a video call with SpaceX's propulsion team. "Cancel the engine test," he ordered crisply. "We're implementing new designs from Samuel Thompson." A bleary-eyed chief engineer glanced up, incredulous. "Who's that?" he asked, struggling to reconcile the name with the unfamiliar face on the security dossier. "The man who's about to make Starship obsolete," Elon replied, a rare smile breaking through his normally steely demeanor. It was a declaration that mixed both hubris and hope, a signal that revolutionary change was imminent. Meanwhile, Sam stood alone in his modest Glendale garage, a sanctuary that was part machine shop, part personal engineering archive. Blueprints, sketches, and technical schematics were taped haphazardly to every available surface. Dominating the clutter was his magnum opus, Project Icarus, a daring hybrid nuclear thermal/chemical propulsion system designed to reach Mars in a record 39 days. This project had been conceived during long, solitary nights behind the wheel, as the hum of his 3D printer drowned out the incessant beeps of hospital monitors and the distant sounds of his wife's ventilator in the next room. The morning light crept through the dusty windows as SpaceX's security detail arrived at the hotel. At precisely 8:58 a.m., they found Sam waiting on the hotel steps, two locked briefcases clutched in one hand and an unwavering gaze fixed on the entrance. "I want my granddaughter in the room," he stated firmly to the arriving guards. "She's better at this legal stuff than me." Within minutes, 21-year-old Kendra Thompson, clad in a well-worn Caltech hoodie and armed with a sharp intellect and a fierce determination, arrived. Though she looked every bit the reluctant heir to a legacy of brilliance, her eyes sparkled with the fire of defiance against a system that had long undervalued her family's contributions. Instead of facing a room full of corporate sharks, she found herself in a hotel conference room with Elon Musk himself, poring over her grandfather's handwritten equations. Elon's finger traced a diagram on a freshly printed sheet. "These regenerative cooling channels," he mused aloud, his eyes reflecting both curiosity and admiration. "You're using the fuel itself as a heatsink?" "Phase change cooling," Sam interjected, his tone precise and measured. "The methane undergoes a controlled transition, absorbing heat during its phase shift to maintain optimal combustion conditions." His explanation, though technical, carried an unmistakable passion for the art of engineering, a passion that had once driven him to break boundaries, now reborn in this unexpected moment. Kendra, who had spent years studying corporate law to protect such rare innovations, listened intently. She exchanged a look with her grandfather, a silent communication that spoke of long nights of sacrifice, of a lifetime of expertise hidden beneath layers of bureaucratic neglect. As Elon offered $2 million for an exclusive license to the revolutionary design, Kendra nearly choked on her Starbucks. It was not the money she craved, it was recognition, respect, and the chance to see her grandfather's work soar. "No, I don't want money," Sam said, shaking his head with quiet resolve. I want to see it fly." He pushed the locked briefcases forward with a decisive gesture. "Hire my team." "Your team?" Elon raised an eyebrow in surprise. Sam then opened the second briefcase, revealing a trove of faded photographs and candid snapshots. There were images of 7 individuals, once brilliant engineers and scientists, now leading unassuming lives in the gig economy. A former JPL astrophysicist, now driving for Instacart, an ex-NASA metallurgist, delivering DoorDash orders, a retired Boeing aerodynamics expert, working as a cashier at Trader Joe's. Each face told a story of brilliance marred by corporate indifference. "America's shadow space program," Sam declared bitterly. "We meet at Denny's every Thursday. We call ourselves the Midnight Engineers." His tone resonated with both pride and sorrow, a pride for the intellect they had nurtured, and sorrow for the waste of talent that society had overlooked. Elon's eyes lingered on the photographs, absorbing the weight of years and lost potential. In that moment, he made a decision that would later be hailed as the steal of the century by Aviation Week. "Be at Starbase tomorrow," he commanded. "We're building a new department, Musk Senior Enterprises. You report directly to me." As Sam and Kendra exited the hotel, the cool morning air mingled with the lingering remnants of last night's rain. Kendra, barely above 21, whispered in awe, "Pops. Did we just get hired by Elon Musk?" Her voice trembled with both excitement and disbelief. "Better," Sam replied with a conspiratorial grin. "We get to prove that old dogs can still bite." In the following days, the atmosphere at SpaceX shifted dramatically. The Founders Program was officially announced, a bold initiative to recruit retired aerospace engineers whose experience spanned eras when slide rules ruled and computers were a luxury. Within weeks, productivity surged by 22%, powered by veterans who brought not only technical expertise but also a renewed sense of purpose to a company in need of reinventing itself. At the sprawling Starbase facility in Boca Chica, engineers and technicians worked feverishly to integrate the groundbreaking modifications. The revolutionary engine, born in the backseat of an Uber on a stormy night, began to take shape on the workbenches. Its design, forged in the crucible of decades of trial and error and signed simply Street, symbolized the triumph of experience over convention. Late one evening, as the team gathered around a cluttered conference table cluttered with blueprints and coffee cups, Elon himself visited to witness the progress. In a rare moment of candor, he addressed the assembled team. "We've been so focused on cutting-edge technology that we've forgotten one fundamental truth: experience matters. Today, we are not just building rockets. We are reclaiming a legacy of ingenuity that belongs to every engineer who ever dared to dream." Over the next several weeks, Sam and his Midnight Engineers found themselves thrust into the limelight. They spent long hours in cramped labs and noisy hangars, their weathered hands and battle-scarred minds breathing new life into engines that promised to revolutionize space travel. Stories of their past exploits, the classified projects, the unsung victories, and even the bitter defeats, emerged during late-night strategy sessions. Sam recounted, with both humor and gravitas, how he had once labored on the SR-72 Dark Star prototype, a vehicle designed to shatter the boundaries of hypersonic flight, only to see his contributions overshadowed by corporate politics. In one particularly memorable session, as rain lashed against the massive windows of the Boca Chica hangar, Sam found himself debating nozzle expansion ratios with a young engineer who had spent years immersed in simulation software. The conversation turned heated as both men defended their viewpoints with equal passion. "You may have the numbers," Sam said, his voice rough with emotion, "but you lack the intuition that comes from real-world testing. Out there, in the cold vacuum of space, intuition is what saves lives." The young engineer, humbled by the veteran's insight, nodded in quiet agreement. It was in these moments that the spirit of the Midnight Engineers shone brightest, a testament to a generation that had seen the dawn of the space age and was now, once again, called upon to guide humanity toward the star. Meanwhile, Kendra Thompson worked diligently behind the scenes, her legal expertise ensuring that every contract and NDA was meticulously drafted to protect her grandfather's intellectual property. She navigated the labyrinth of corporate law with the same precision that had once defined the great legal minds of the aerospace industry. Her success in securing robust agreements not only protected the team's work but also signaled a turning point, a recognition that wisdom and experience were assets to be treasured, not discarded. As the project advanced, rumors of a new era at SpaceX began to circulate in industry circles. Reporters and aerospace enthusiasts speculated about the mysterious engineer whose calculations had upended conventional thinking. Aviation Week even ran a headline calling the initiative the steal of the century, a phrase that resonated with anyone who had ever felt sidelined by a society that worshipped youth over experience. In quiet moments, Elon would reflect on the serendipity of that fateful night. Stranded at an airport, forced to take an Uber at the last minute, what had seemed like a series of unfortunate events had, in fact, set the stage for a renaissance in aerospace innovation. It was a potent reminder that breakthrough ideas could emerge from the most unlikely places, and that genius often wore the disguise of an everyday rideshare driver. By the time the new engine was ready for its inaugural test, a palpable sense of anticipation filled the halls of Starbase. The revolutionary design, now a fusion of cutting-edge technology and time-honored engineering wisdom, was slated for a live test that could redefine the future of space travel. Sam and his midnight engineers stood shoulder to shoulder with the younger generation of SpaceX talent, united by a shared belief that the best ideas transcended age and convention. On the day of the test, as the countdown began and engineers held their collective breath, Elon's voice echoed over the intercom, "This is more than just a rocket engine test. It's a celebration of every mind that dared to challenge the status quo. Today, we honor the past, and we embrace the future." The test was a resounding success. Data streamed in showing unprecedented efficiency and stability in the engine's performance, validating every painstaking calculation scribbled on that worn legal pad so many months ago. In the following weeks, as production ramped up and the revolutionary engine was integrated into the next generation of Starship prototypes, SpaceX's productivity soared, and the industry was forced to reckon with a new paradigm. For Sam Thompson, the journey had come full circle. No longer relegated to the margins of the aerospace world, he had reclaimed his rightful place among the innovators who had once lit the spark of the space age. Standing in his Glendale garage one quiet afternoon, surrounded by the tools of his trade and the echoes of a lifetime spent chasing dreams, he allowed himself a rare moment of satisfaction. His granddaughter Kendra, now a rising star in her own right, joined him. Together, they looked over the blueprints of Project Icarus, symbols of a future where age and experience were celebrated rather than discarded. "Pops," Kendra said softly, "I always wondered if there was more to your story than what the world knew." Sam smiled, his eyes glistening with both pride and melancholy. "Sometimes, genius hides in plain sight. And sometimes, it takes a chance encounter in a rain-soaked tuber to change the course of history." Elon Musk's bold gamble on the wisdom of the past had not only saved a critical engine test but had also ignited a revolution within SpaceX, a revolution built on the timeless principle that innovation is not the exclusive domain of youth. As SpaceX forged ahead into uncharted territory, the legacy of the Midnight Engineers served as a beacon of hope and a reminder that brilliance can emerge from the unlikeliest of places. And so, beneath the vast expanse of a starlit sky, as rockets prepared for launch and dreams soared as high as the stars themselves, a new chapter in aerospace history was written, one where the boundaries of possibility were redrawn by those who had once been forgotten, only to rise again and remind the world that true genius never fades.